In tonight's Tax Insider, the new college compact. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has unveiled a proposal that would enable students to attend public colleges debt-free. What will this new plan cost taxpayers? For analysis, we turn to our guest tonight on Capitol Insider, David Williams, president of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance. Dave, Clinton's proposal is expected to cost the federal government, meaning taxpayers, $350 billion over 10 years. The plan would reshape the nation's current higher education by requiring states to increase their spending on higher education. The program would also require a contribution from the students' families. What do you think about Clinton's plan? Is it a good deal for taxpayers?
This is an absolutely bad deal for taxpayers. We're talking about $350 billion over 10 years. That's $35 billion a year. That's $35 billion a year that taxpayers don't have to give to the federal government. So it's going to be expensive, and it doesn't change education. There are no real reforms in here. This is just a fix of pricing, of paying for education, and taxpayers can't afford it. So this really is a move in the wrong direction if she wants to really reform education.
You're right, but for a while now, critics have been sounding the alarm about the nation's universities. The cost of tuition continues to go up, creating barriers to higher education. This is a major topic in the presidential debate, with other candidates offering their own plans on how to fix the system. Is there any idea that stands out to you as being financially responsible for the country?
Well, first of all, is not to increase the subsidies to the universities, because there have been numerous reports that have shown that for every dollar an increase in subsidies, it's about a 65-cent increase in the cost of tuition. So schools know this. They know that more taxpayer money, the higher tuition goes. And there have been opportunities, and you look at Florida, look at Jeb Bush. He's done an amazing job in Florida with what he calls, school choice, is, making schools more responsible for the results and making education a priority without spending money. You don't have to spend billions of dollars to do this. So let's think outside the box here. Let's do tax incentives. Let's look for ways to get students back to school. Maybe it's online courses. Maybe the traditional brick and mortar going to class isn't the way to do this, because a lot of people are working full time. You have mothers that can't go back to school full time and go to the brick and mortar school. So maybe it's time to think outside the box and really get rid of the brick and mortar schools and think more creatively as to how we can educate folks in higher education.
All right, I hear you. Let's move to a topic we've discussed a lot on Capitol Insider, the U.S. Postal Service. The agency has just posted another quarterly loss of $586 million, adding to the already $2 billion deficit in the first half of 2015. What's going on, Dave?
First of all, there's a little bit of good news here, just a little bit, is that it's $500 million and not the $2.2 billion that's been in previous quarters. So this is a little bit of good news, but still $500 million that they're losing money, and they continue to lose money hand over fist. The problem is that they're expanding into areas that they shouldn't be expanding. They're delivering groceries, delivering packages. So these are things they shouldn't be doing. They want to get into banking more.
You're saying should not be doing.
They should not be doing,
okay.
Absolutely. And they don't seem to get it. Now, Congress is partly to fault here, because
Congress
they have not forced.
Congress is a big fault, I think.
Oh, absolutely, because every member of Congress has at least one mail carrier in their district, so they don't want to consolidate offices. They don't want to make the hard decisions really to rein in the Postal Service. So Congress needs to take a leadership role, but the Postal Service, they have to stop this expansion. They need to contract, not expand.
Is Congress going to do anything, though?
Well, no,
okay.
They're not. So, that's why the Postal Service needs to be the leader here and say, listen, we can't rely on Congress to do this. They're on a 5-week recess. When they get back in September, there's going to be a lot of other work to do. So that's why the Postal Service, they need to be proactive and make these things happen.
All right, before you go, what's the latest on the Export-Import Bank? President Obama has asked Congress to reauthorize it. Critics call it corporate welfare. What's going on?
What was the line from Saturday Night Live? Francisco Franco is still dead.
Yes, I remember that.
Well, the Export-Import Bank is still dead.
But they keep trying to bring it around. And is it the 11th hour yet? 11 hours and 59 minutes? Because I still swear to you, at the last minute, it'll get slipped in somewhere.
Well, that's the concern, especially in September, when they have about 21 days to finish the budget. There's going to have to be a continuing resolution to fund the government. So is someone going to slip the Export-Import Bank into a continuing resolution? Now, Morris, here's what's interesting. The Washington Examiner, the newspaper, came out today and talked about a lumber company, a small business, that they were part of Export-Import Bank loans. Well, they gave up those loans 2 years ago, and now they're getting their loans from the private sector, so they don't need the bank. The small business doesn't need the bank. Big business doesn't need the bank, so we don't need the Export-Import Bank. But
well, you say they don't need, but it's still, as a critic would say, it's corporate welfare. Everybody likes welfare.
Everybody loves welfare, and corporate welfare is probably the most obscene of all welfares that are in this country. And it's going to cost taxpayers $2 billion over 10 years if they resurrect this bank, and there's no need to do this. But you don't know what happens at the 11th hour when they're trying to get a budget deal and they're trying to, horse trade. I mean, you talk about the Iran deal, talk about horse trading. It happens so much in budget deals. All
right, keep watching this for us, Dave, and blow the whistle. Come back as soon as we find out what they do. 11 hours and 59 minutes in, we'll have you back on the show. David Williams, President of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance. Thanks again.
Thank you.